इस वीडियो में we'll be going to talk about electrostatic potential energy. So electrostatic potential energy can be defined in two ways. First one is this, which is interaction energy, and the other one is self energy. So in this way we can define electrostatic potential energy in these two categories. If we talk of interaction potential energy, then interaction potential energy, as the name suggests, is always due to interaction between two charged particles, right? So interaction potential energy will always be present only when there is an interaction force between any two charged particles, or maybe three charged particles, right? We have to define interaction potential energy. Then we'll define it as interaction potential energy is defined as negative of amount of work done by electric field in bringing a system of charges slowly from infinite and arranging them in a particular configuration. Means let's say we have two charged particles Q1 and Q2. Initially they are at infinite separation. Then what if I do? I just brought this Q1 and Q2 at a separation, let's say R. Then when they were at infinite separation, there was no interaction between these two charged particles. But when they will be at this distance R, then there will surely be some interaction between these two charged particles, right? So initially, let's say these two charged particles were positive. So initially when they were at infinite separation, there was no force between Q1 and Q2. But if they are positively charged, and if I try to bring this Q2 from infinite to a particular separation R, then I'll have to experience the repulsion force of this Q1. Then I'll have to push this Q2 continuously to bring it to this separation R. तो इस Q2 को infinite से R separation तक लाते समय हमें Q1 के रिपल्सिव फोर्सेस को एक्सपीरियंस करना पड़ेगा, और उन रिपल्सिव फोर्सेस को ओवरकम करने के लिए हमें कुछ वर्क करना पड़ेगा, एंड दैट वर्क विल गेट स्टोर्ड इन द फॉर्म ऑफ इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक पोटेंशियल एनर्जी. Initially at infinite separation there was no interaction between these two charged particles. That is why you can say that initially the interaction between these two charged particles was zero, so initial interaction energy was zero. But when they will be at some separation, there will be some potential energy surely stored between in this configuration of these two charged particles. So whatever work I'll do in bringing this Q2 to near this Q1, then the work done will get stored in the form of potential energy of these two charged particles. We must remember, we must know that potential energy is only defined for conservative forces, be it electrostatic potential energy, or be it elastic potential energy, or gravitational potential energy, whatever it is. In this section we will be dealing with interaction energy of a system of two charged particles, right? So let's say if I have a charged particle Q1 and I have one more charged particle, that is Q2, and it is initially at separation infinite from this Q1. This Q1 is fixed, let's say. So if I want to bring this Q1 to this position Q2, which is at separation R, then I will have to do some work against the electric forces. I can define final potential energy or the change in potential energy in both ways, like minus of work done by electric field, or work done by me, or work done by external agent in bringing the charge Q2 from infinite to this separation very slowly. So I have to move this charge Q2 very slowly to this position. So let's say this Q2 charge is some separation, let's say X, this is Q2, let's say, and the separation between this Q1 and Q2 at any instant is X. At this instant, this Q2 will experience a force K Q1 Q2 by X square due to the repulsion of Q1. This is the electric force. And if I want to move this Q2 very slowly, then I will have to apply equal and opposite force, so that it this Q2 do not get accelerated. The acceleration of this Q2 is 0. So if I want to move this Q2 very slowly or without any acceleration, then I'll have to apply the same force, which is also in fact k q1 q2 by x square in the forward direction. Now if this charge is moved by small distance, let's say x, this force is variable, so I want to just calculate the work done by electric field, right? So small work done by electric field will be force of electric field into dx. Now you can say that the work done is always f dot dx and then its integration. So if I solve this dot product, then I can write that force is k q1 q2 by x square into dx. In the direction of dx is towards left, while the electric force is towards right. So there will be an angle of cos 180 degree between these two things, that is displacement and force. And one more primarily noticeable thing is that we can see here that x is decreasing with time. X is decreasing. So if x is decreasing, then this dx must be a negative quantity. As x is decreasing, whenever some quantity decreases, then change in that quantity is always negative. So this dx has to be put with negative sign. So this is negative sign of dx, right? This is negative sign of dx, like this. So I have to integrate it from infinite to some distance r. This is just the work done by electric field. So k q1 q2 by x square, this minus will get cancelled with this cos 180 degree. What I get here is this dx integration infinite to r. So this k q1 q2 is constant. Integration of x to the power minus 2 is x to the power minus 2 plus 1 upon minus 2 plus 1, and limit from infinite to r. So k q1 q2, this is minus 1 by x infinite to r, minus k q1 q2 1 by r minus 1 by infinite, which will become 0. So the final work done by electric field comes out to be equal to this minus of k q1 q2 by r. Now what I need to do is I have to find this delta U, which is final potential energy minus initial potential energy. Final potential energy is for separation r, and initially the separation was infinite. So initially the interaction between these two charges was 0. So initial potential energy was 0. This will be equal to minus of work done by electric field, right? So minus of minus k q1 q2 by r, that is k q1 q2 by r. So this is the final interaction energy between these two charges q1 and q2. Now we must see a couple of things, like in this expression q1 and q2 are to be substituted with their actual signs. If q1 and q2 are positive, then you just replace q1 to be positive, q2 to be positive. Otherwise you will have to consider their actual signs. So if both charges, you can see that if q1 q2 has repulsive force, if q1 and q2 has repulsive force, then interaction potential energy will be positive, while if between Q1 and Q2, well, if between Q1 and Q2, Q1 and Q2, attractive force is present. Attractive force is present, then interaction potential energy will be negative, right? So let's see a couple of examples, like if I have a system of charges, let's say this is Q1, this is Q2, this is Q3, this distance is R12, R13 and R23. These are three charges kept at distance R12, R13 and R23. If somebody asks me find U of this system, by writing U of the system I directly mean that find interaction potential energy of the system, right? So how will I solve it? I will see that there are three charges, and you must remember that interaction potential energy is always for a pair. Like if you are considering a pair of Q1 and Q2, then you should not consider the pair again as Q2 and Q1. If Q1 and Q2 is included, then you must not include Q2 Q1 also, right? So one can be paired with 2, and one can be paired with 3, and 2 can be paired with 3. You cannot include this pair. 2, 1 cannot be included, 3, 1 cannot be included, 3, 2 cannot be included. It will be a repetition of interaction energy, because interaction is always possible for a pair. So we always define interaction potential energy always for a pair, right? So if I talk about the interaction potential energy between these Q1 and Q2, then I can simply write K Q1 Q2 by R12 plus K Q2 Q3 by R23 plus K Q3 Q1 by R31. So this is the interaction potential energy of the system of these three charges. One more thing that you can note here is, if there are n charges, then you will have to select 2 out of those n charges, right? So you can simply see here in this case also that we were having 3 charges, we selected 2 charges out of those 3 charges. So the number of pairs available will always be factorial 3 by factorial 2 not factorial 1. That is, it means factorial n upon that, let's say this is r, factorial n upon factorial n minus r into factorial r. So these many number of pairs will be getting formed. Here you can see that factorial n is factorial 3 and factorial r we have to select 2, right? So in place of r, what I put here is, in place of r I put factorial 2, and in place of n minus r I put factorial 3 minus 2, which is factorial 1, right? So it gave me 3. So I have made 3 pairs in this example, right? If I consider one more rather complex example, then what I see here is, let's say if I am given with a hexagon, regular hexagon is given like this. This is Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5, Q6, right? And all these charges are having same value, so that our calculation gets reduced a bit. All these charges are, let's say, Q. Side length of this regular hexagon is, let's say, A, is the center of the hexagon. Now if somebody asks me find interaction potential energy of the system, then what I'll do is, I'll see that there are 6 charges, so 6C2 pairs need to be formed, right? 6C2 pairs need to be formed. 6C2 pairs equals 15 pairs. If I solve this, this will be factorial 6, factorial 4, factorial 2, which will give me 15. So I have to make 15 pairs. Like 1 is combined with 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, 5, 2, 6, 3, 4, 3, 5, 3, 6, 4, 5, 4, 6, and 5, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6, 5. 5 plus 4, 5 plus 4 plus 3, 2, and 1. 5 plus 4, 9, 9, 3, 12, 12, and 3, 15. So it gave me total 15 pairs. Then what I need is I need to find distance between these 1, 2 charges. Here I can see that there are 3 type of pairs are available in this example, like the pairs which are at separation A, the pairs which are at separation, this separation 2A, this separation is A, this separation is 2A, and what this separation is actually equal to. You can see here this was 120-degree angle, so as it was total 120-degree angle, so this is 60-degree angle, this is A, so this will be A sine 60 degree, that is root 3 by 2A, and similarly this will also be equal to root 3 by 2A. So this distance between 1 and 5 is root 3A, between 1 and 2 is A, and 1 and 4 is 2. So these 3 types of distances are available in this example. So what I'll do here is something like, say, so here I will have to identify the pairs which are at separation, let's say A. So here I can see that the charges which are at separation A is 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, and obviously 1, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 6 charges are at separation A. So this is the potential energy of those 6 charges. Then I'll have to identify the charges that are diagonally opposite, like 1 and 4, 2 and 5. So 1 and 4, 2 and 5, 3 and 6, 3 and 6. So these 3 charges are at separation 2A. So kq square by 2A is the potential energy of these 3 pairs. 6 and 3, 9. And 6 pairs are such that which have distance between them as root 3A. So 6kq square by root 3A. So this is the potential energy of the system. This was rather complex and a bit lengthy method. In short, I have one more trick that you can use to find the potential energy of the system. For that, I just want you to write potential energy. I want you to write potential energy of only one charge. Let's say I want to write the potential energy of only this Q1 charge, right? This Q1. So I can see that for this Q1 we have 2 charges just nearby at a distance A. So 2kq square by A. 2 charges for this Q1 are at this distance root 3A. So 2kq square by root 3A, and only one charge is there which is at distance 2A, like this. So this is kq square by A, right? So this is the potential energy of this Q1 with Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5 and Q6. So this Q1 will have interaction with other 5 charges, so I should have 5 terms. 2 terms are included in this, 2 terms are included in this, and 1 term is there. So total 5 terms are present due to the interaction of this Q1 with Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5, Q6, right? So In order to find the total potential energy, what I am required to do simply is write here total number of charges available in the system, which are 6, and divided by 2. Total number of charges in the system divided by 2. So what I get here is 6kq square by A plus 6kq square by root 3A plus 3kq square by A. So this is the final potential energy of system. This is the final interaction potential energy of the system. So in short, just write the potential energy of any one charge and then multiply that whole expression with total number of charges divided by 2, and you will get the whole interaction energy of the system.